They know the money is coming to go. So what?
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your boy Tony from Tony Television. I have a very special friend and guest here. Go ahead, introduce yourself. What is your name and where are you from?
Hey, what's good? It's your boy OMD, Dex 300, Los Angeles, California, San Fernando Valley represent now. Used to be from South Central LA, but SF representing at this time. That's where my business is. And I am the host of the Corner Store Podcast. What it do?
Okay, now Dex, let's start straight off the top. For people that don't live in LA, that knows nothing about these demographics here,
Okay.
You have already just mentioned where you grew up at, but let them know, did you grow up in the hood or the suburb?
Oh, I most definitely grew up in the hood. When wow, that's a good question. All right, I'm gonna let you know about Dex a little bit. When I first came here, as a little kid, that's why, on my Instagram it says Southern born, West Coast raised, because this is really all I know. I was on Vernon and Broadway. I went to West Vernon Elementary School, where I was in like the third grade, and they were still paddling kids back then. You could still get whooped in school, you know what I mean? So I thought that was only in the South, because down South they paddle your ass too. But at that particular time, the laws hadn't changed yet. But I'm from the hood. I grew up South Central pretty much all my life, but dipped and dotted back from the valley because we moved a lot. My mom was working with my auntie. She was in a singing group at the time. That's how we got out here. And, of course, she ended up, she got 2 kids, in the West Coast. She's a single mom. So she had to, eventually, the entertainment thing was going to fade, you know what I'm saying? Even if you just like managing or doing whatever. So she ended up like, working like everybody else, getting regular jobs out there. My mom was the type of person, she realized that a retail job or a little BS job is not going to feed a family of 3, her and me and my sister. So she had to do jobs that were like men jobs, working at warehouses and stuff like that, because back then that's what paid, So I got to give her a lot of props for taking care of us in the city like LA. I was raised in the hood for sure, but got an opportunity to move to the valley, and go to Fenton Elementary in Pacoima. Back when Pacoima was like cool, not saying it ain't cool now, shout out to Pacoima, you from whatever, But Lakeview Terrace was different back then. It was real suburby. We up there by them hills, It was whites and blacks and a few Hispanics living out there at the time. My auntie and uncle had bought a house, and me and my mom, my sister was with them at that time. So I was out there a year, played baseball out there, Little League. So I done had the best of both worlds, staying in the hood. And after that, we ended up coming back on 36th Street and 39th and Cimarron at first. And we stayed there a few years and had to deal with a lot of shit going on over there. I was going to Fauché at the time. That's a junior high school. If you know LA, you know Fauché, and we used to get it in and chunk them every day. I was getting beat up at first when I first got there, but by the end of it all, I was knocking fools the fuck out, because either you was gonna do that or you was gonna get served every day. And I mean every day. Niggas wasn't playing back then. It was about hands. It wasn't about shooting niggas. That was just starting to kind of happen. Niggas, you was hearing about niggas getting popped, and you know what I'm saying? That was back in the day when I was a shorty. You know what I'm saying? And we talked out in the Fauché. I was in the seventh grade, and it got so bad with the getting jumped on that one day I just ditched and fought all day. You had to either I did that or I was gonna get picked on every day. You dig? When they line you up and they see you as the weak nigga, you just gonna get your ass whooped. That's just how LA was. It's a code out here, especially if you live in like the hood. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't live like in a real nice area where you ain't getting effed with like that, you's fighting. And people trying to get you to lock in on some, on a game. You know what I'm saying? So, you just have to fight for your respect. Everybody know that. Everybody know that. If you from some type of area where it's a little rough around the edges, you know what it is. So I ain't got to really explain it no more than that. So to answer your question, yeah,
Okay.
I'm from the hood in a lot of respects.
Now, I think your era was it the 70s, the 80s? Was it that the 20s? You know, when you were in like your 20s or teens, I'd say.
Oh shit! When I was I went to Crenshaw High. In my teens, I was basically South Central, West Side, LA, Crenshaw High.
Here's the question.
Go ahead.
Have you ever seen or ran across Tookie, Monster
No,
Cody, any of these guys?
I run across some names that was on the lower, you know what I'm saying, end of it, like Ken Dog. It was a nigga. Ken Dog was supposedly big from the jungles. What the heck? I know the name of the gang. I'm losing my train of thought right now. But I stayed over there for the third. When I first met you, that's where I was living at the time. In Baldwin Hills. So he's from over there, from the jungles. I'll just say that. Most people who are from LA know who I'm talking about. This is Blood Gang.
Well, let me ask you this, because obviously you're from here, so you know a lot about how things work, right? Is there?
Well, I know some of that politics. But,
you just know how things work.
I ain't gonna front or nothing like that. I know a little bit about it.
My question is there a like when someone comes from another East Coast saying I'm a this and I'm a that, is it the same thing when they get, do you guys look at that, or do people from the West Coast look at it as like, yeah, he one of us, or?
Oh, I see. But representing, like, if a dude from the East Coast of Blood come to LA,
yeah.
From what I understand, they do get love.
Okay.
From what I'm only going for what I know of today. You know what I'm saying? Right. What I've seen on, YouTube and one thing you probably know just as well as I. I'm a little bit more mature than most cats. I'm 56, but my heart is really young. You know what I'm saying? My heart is really young. So I stand to know in certain shit like that. And plus I have a podcast as well. So, you kind of know what's going on to kind of know what you're talking about in a certain sense. But musically, it's kind of been telling us that too. These cats are supposed to be Bloods that are in music, that have these ties with guys from the West Coast that are music. You've seen the Game, who's a Blood from West Coast. He cool with Jim Jones, who's a Blood from the East Coast. So obviously there's ties there. You've been hearing about this thing about when you come here, you got to check in. From what I understand, that's real. I went and investigated that myself. I know people from 6-0 and they actually, and they're shout out to Jay Outlaw, real dope rapper that's coming up right behind Nipsey. Dude is ridiculous. Believe me when I say that. Jay Outlaw, the next one. He's great from over there, from Hyde Park, I believe. They say, yeah, that checking in is real. And these cats don't really check in. They'll be on them. And this guy's out there, that's what they do every day to see who come, who touching down out here. And they ain't say nothing to nobody. I was like, I was tripping. That's for real. So to answer your question, I believe there's some ties between cats that might say I'm a Crip from such and such, from Harlem, whatever. And, I believe I think they probably meet and talk or whatever. From what I can tell, it seems like that usually kind of what happens. They give them kind of love and see where they head at, I guess. I don't know.
Now, the checking in thing, a lot of people think it's like a hood way of extortion. Is it? I mean, what is it? Is it really? Are you? Because here's the thing, right? Let's say me personally, because I look at it like checking in. It might be the guys I'm checking in with to set me up, right? It could go that way, right? They could be, oh yeah, he cool. And
now, no disrespect to New York. Shout out to New York. Light Slim, if who's from Brooklyn. Lover. If I remember, she said she was from Brooklyn. Somebody else.
Yeah, she's Brooklyn.
Yeah, somebody else that was on mine said that she's from the Bronx. So I had saw that too. I'm like, okay, BX in the house. Da. But what you just said about the check-in, and it could be a setup. That sounds like more of a New York thing than an LA thing to me. LA, truth be told, and I'm not saying that might be something that a nigga from LA might try, to be honest with you. But I think it'd be more on actually checking in to give them that respect more than anything. Now, if you give them a cash tribute, that's on some other shit. If they asking for that, that sound kind of like some extortion type shit. But if I don't know Big U personally from Sicto, but I believe he would take the respect more than he would try to get some money out of you now. But if you was to give him some bread, he'd be like, oh, nigga, you know what I'm saying? Nobody fuck with him, nigga, type shit, you know? So I think it's more on that, but not to disrespect nobody from New York, but that sounds like some shit. Yeah, son, you know what I'm saying? Come, hey, when you touch down in LaGuardia, we'll have a car there, you know what I'm saying? We're going to take you to, I'm sorry though, man, I'm saying we'll take you to Four Seasons, you know what I mean? But we're going to take you to Best Western. Dog. And you be like, Best West, you be questioning everything he's saying. Like, I don't know, this sound kind of shifty, my nigga. No disrespect. I love New York. Shout out New York. You know I love you. Stand up. But y'all be like, we're going to take you to Best Western, you know what I'm saying? Finest room, you know what I'm saying? King size bed, the whole shit. For real. You know what I mean? Don't worry about it. We got you. Black sedan. Puerto Rican cat, though. That's another thing, though. He's spooky. He gonna be having a hoodie on, too. That's gonna look a little scary, but that's my boy. So, to be honest, to answer your question, that's what it sounds a little bit more like something y'all would try.
Gotcha. So, out here, the respect factor is mainly what it's about.
I think so. From my heart of hearts, being from LA and kind of knowing cats that run in them circles, some of the dudes I do know will probably want some bread, sort of like we'll watch y'all back, so to speak. We'll make sure somebody might. I know some people from some other hoods that probably would ask for some bread, but I think especially with his platform now and how he's doing, I think it would probably be more of a respect to him than it would monetary. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's the way I feel about it. But there's some niggas out here that will be on some setup shit. So don't let me fool you with that. We already know. I even said on my pod, this is a crazy place right here. When you come here, you have to be on your 10 toes for sure.
That's a fact. Now, let's go into some current events.
Oh,
some
shit.
things that's going on in the news, and I want to get your perspective. Recently, I don't know if you heard of the Alabama forward Darius Miles.
That has the podcast now?
No, it's a young boy,
Not the one with Darius Miles and the podcast basketball guys. No. Okay.
A young boy in college.
I don't know him.
He had a little promise.
Basketball?
Yeah, basketball. Alabama.
I definitely don't know him then.
He had a little promising future, and he recently just got arrested for killing his girlfriend. College kid.
I think I vaguely heard something about that, but I don't really know what information you got on it.
Well, that's pretty much all I have. I'm just asking you because I know in my time I had never heard of that. And what I mean by that is this. Were people killing their girlfriends? Yeah, a few times that happened. But only times I know, I've never heard of someone with a prominent future coming up doing that. Oh. Not around where I'm. I mean, usually by the time
I can tell you about one, and I'm so surprised you don't remember it. Ray Caruth. Ray Caruth was a promising.
Well, here's what I mean too.
One
more part of it, because Ray Caruth, if you're talking about the ones who made it already, yes.
Oh, you mean on the rise?
They on their way. You got the scholarship. It's promising by tomorrow. Just be good as a. Now, most ways I know niggas fucked up was drugs, guns, got caught with this.
But not killing a girl?
Not killing their girlfriend.
I guarantee you I dig deep enough, I'll find something.
Not saying you won't find nothing, because I'm pretty sure
that's a big news story.
I'm pretty sure it's there, right?
It's there for sure.
But my point is,
and we just didn't remember.
It's happening in our face more often now. Like it's almost a thing now, where a lot of these people that are damn near on their way of making it end up jumping off the damn cliff. Did you hear about the guy who just recently drove his whole family off the cliff out here?
Yeah.
And they all survived?
Right.
Crazy.
So, or you ask, let me. I ain't gonna guess. What would you want me to know? I mean, what would you want to know from me about them situations? Are you asking me about the world and people and the state of humanity?
In general, does it seem to be something different today in that regards than when you came up?
Come on now, you asking the right person. You you looking for content, you asking the right dude. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, and I don't mean it to say it in such a crude way to say like we trying to gain people to respond to this. I'm gonna just keep it a band. I'm the type of person, you ask me a question like that, the world has lost its freaking mind. It has. Sanity is out of the window. First off, the cities around the United States the population is out of control. It's out of fucking control. By last count, and the census was off by over 45%. They didn't get to count everybody because 60% of the population in the United States is either homeless or on the poverty line. So they don't open the door most of the time, or they're not even home to be counted. You know what I'm saying? So this town is losing its mind. You can't drive nowhere without almost getting into an accident or somebody fingering you, throwing a finger at you or something. People tripping. I'm looking at a video the other day in San Antonio, Texas. One of the most calmest, tamest cities. San Antonio's population has blown by over 26%. Go look it up. These towns are overrun with people. There's no space. People are giving up too. That's what the homeless thing is all about. People just giving up, man. It's fear. And all you see on TV, everywhere you look, is more fear mongering. Politics has lost its mind. These people, just a couple of weeks ago, they had the vote for the Speaker of the House. They had 15, 20 votes. Do you know these guys are there voting? They're not doing no work. They playing with everybody's lives. They're just telling everyone, we not tripping off of you. So everybody out there, I'm pleading with you. Don't be tripping about this. That put that sticker on, I voted and all that. They're wasting your time. You go stand in that line for 8 hours, cast your vote, get that some bitch in office, and nothing changes. What's the definition of crazy? Doing something over and over again, thinking you're going to get a different result. So I'm just keeping it real. You need to worry about yourself. You need to find out whatever you need to do to fall in love with something. Don't worry about how to make money at it. If you know you love it, if you're sitting in the office right now you hate, and you know you love to cook your ass off, and people be like, God damn, you can cook. If you've heard that shit 50 times, you in the wrong business. You miserable. I know you are. You better open a restaurant. You better go and be a chef or something. Stop doing stuff that's against your grain, and you feel it every day. Because I'm telling you, these politicians, these lawmakers, all these people trying to go become lawyers to get up there in that Capitol and sit on their ass and make money off of you. Don't do it. Let's get it. We got to get this money, man. Well, it's time to get this bread.
That's a great answer. I'm pretty sure they'll get a lot out of that because I got something out of that right there.
Let's go. It's the truth.
Now, the next question is a very controversial question that people always ask, and I just had to ask your perspective on it.
Let me light up then.
Light it on up, brother. Are you okay when someone of another race uses the N-word?
I got all choked up on that one. Damn. That question right there.
In an entertaining way, singing the rap song. Fuck. My nigga.
I hear you. God damn it. Well, controversial questions sometimes deserve controversial answers. Sometimes. Matter of fact, I think if you're going to have a controversial question asked, it probably should be demanded from here on out. I'm decreeing it should be a controversial answer to go with that. To me, that's a hard question, and sometimes hard questions deserve hard answers. So with that, I'll say this. I think we need to move past that word. Now, it's a horrible word used to demigod demonize and turn us into lesser thans, and spiritually and pridefully it did. It lowered us. It lowered our mentalities in a lot of ways, in a lot of some areas in the United States where impoverished people live like us that have our skin tone. When they hear shit like that growing up, that's become a part of their vocabulary for sure. They ain't never gonna speak better. They'll never be able to talk in a job, and so they had to turn to crime. So I will give you all that. It's psychologically horrible, but I tell you what, we undemonize that and let that word just be. You see Dave Chappelle making millions, just been nigga in the show. It's cool then. It's cool then when he be in the show, and then he does use it in a intelligent context when he used it in the whole thing. But the cat that heard that when he was 4, when he lived in the Jeepos projects down in Tennessee, don't know no better. He hearing it right there. He gonna grow up, nigga, what's up, nigga? All day, nigga. Oh, we out here getting, nigga. You know what I'm saying? You can't demagogue him for that. So if it's a white dude, hear him doing that, and he get out there and blow up on some music from his part of the world, and do fall in love with that, we ought to be able to let him say that. As long as we understand why he's saying that. You know when white people saying it. When they saying it in a negative tone, they get socked. We already know that. They should get socked every time. I'll be seeing some videos where it be happening and the person ain't doing nothing to him. I'll be like, what's up? You know what I'm saying? You need to be doing something to that motherfucker. But anyway, I think we need to take the power away from that word by letting everybody do what it do. My opinion, people probably gonna be like, that nigga's crazy. Whatever, you know what I'm saying? I can say some weird shit sometimes. It is what it is. I just feel if we do that, cause I say it all the time. I've been saying it forever. My mom be like, you need to change. You know, your mom, I don't give a fuck how old she get. I don't care how old you get. She's still your mom. She's gonna be like, you need to change your talking in there. I'm like, come on, mom. You don't say nothing when you watch Dave Chappelle, Chris Rock now. You know what I'm saying? So don't try to censor me if you ain't tripping off of them. You know what I'm saying? You know, Snoop can make a whole album. So he could probably make an album about eating coochie. Nobody would say shit. You know what I'm saying? So don't censor me. Big Deck's gonna be who he is. And when I pop off, everybody gonna be like so accepting to everything I do and say, the fuck? That's what it's all about. The fuck out of here. Be yourself, say what you say, but don't be an asshole. That's what people don't understand. It's all right to have confidence and have pink hair and say what you want and play whatever instrument and do all, but also be respectful and be moral. That's what motherfuckers don't understand. There's a difference. There's a difference.
Okay. I totally agree. Now, what do you think about the new, in hip hop culture, snitching being kind of the regular thing to do now and accepted, and you could like Gunna recently, he snitched on, well, he I got
a news flash for everybody on this subject. I'm glad you broached this. I wasn't expecting it for those, this is off the cuff. This is stuff for real. I didn't know what he was going to ask me. So it's weird that, he asking me stuff that I wouldn't mind really answering. Niggas been snitching since I was a shorty. So I don't know why everybody's snitching and this. Shut the fuck up. The hardest nigga in your neighborhood facing 1 trillion years will tell to get reduced sentence. So shut the fuck up with that shit. I don't want to hear about it no more. For real. Don't say nothing about nothing. Don't say nothing about 6ix9ine. If you want to talk about 6ix9ine, talk about him and the hair and get at him. Fuck what he did. He knew he ain't have heart enough being there that long. I'll tell too, especially you hear shit. The niggas is fucking my girl. Oh my, yeah, I'm talking to him. The fuck? Gunna did the same thing. Them niggas looked at them bars and was in that room and watched niggas putting up sheets. I done been there. No, nigga, You hear that shit clank? Come here, let me holler at you. Yeah, call my attorney, please. The fuck? I'm out of here. Y'all niggas tripping. Hey, niggas been snitching since day one. Day one. I don't give a fuck how tough you are. For those, let me tell you, the golden boys, the one who take the thing and be like, man, I ain't telling it. I love you dudes. I love you niggas. There can be an alpha male and then an alpha male 1A, nigga. I'm 1A. You know what I'm saying? Y'all niggas can be up there and be like, nah, fuck that, the hood, and I'm in here, nigga. 10 toes down, push-ups, burpees. That's like burgers too much. I can't do it. Nah. I'd rather stab a nigga out here and say, he attacked me, officer, and damn it, I had to in the neck, and it was me or him. And I'm in court getting off. Fuck all that going in there. No.
So basically, it's, this isn't nothing new.
Leave it alone. Niggas been doing this shit forever, man. All the real ones you hear, people live off of what the glory of what one nigga would do. I took them 1,000 years, nigga. Oh, we love you, nigga. You a super nigga for doing that. To me, to give up your whole shit out here to breathe and walk and look at the park and shit and bitches and titties, you are dope to me. I ain't got it in me. I can't do it. I don't give a fuck how big I would. If I got out the military, I was in great shape. Totally different. Back then, nigga, I wouldn't have wanted to go to jail. That shit is not cool. Shout out to the dudes behind the wall. Love you on me, on my mama, no disrespect. There's cats on TikTok that got out of prison that have a TikTok telling you about how it was in prison. Go look at some of that shit. And they be talking about everything. You don't want to go there. You don't. So that's all I'm saying. Snitching is wonderful. Wonderful, goddammit. I was involved in a conspiracy with 9 guys. The 9 guys had pickups that happened every 7 months. Nigga, I'm telling it all, nigga. Details. Dex, what time were the drops? About 1 a.m. every morning. There were drops, helicopters, 10 tons. All of us, except me, nigga, is getting immunity, nigga. I'm getting immunity like a motherfucker. Y'all niggas will be like, that's fucked up. I said, I had to do it. I am not going to jail. Let's go. Fuck that. Snitching is great. Leave it alone. I don't care what nobody say. You probably gonna see this like, man, fuck that nigga, man. Fuck him. I know it's gonna be somebody. Fuck him. All right. What happened to you, nigga? Go ahead and take that shit, man.
Be a super nigga to take the 1,000 years.
Take it, dude. I'm telling you, I got money. I'll throw my hands up, nigga. You dope. You are dope. I would have bet against you doing this.
Now, with that being said, what is your point of view on Charleston White?
Oh, shit.
I mean, is he trying to help the youth? Is he making good, or is it just game?
You know what, man? It's a little bit of everything. And I tell you why. It's just certain things he's said and done, which is so out of character with how he'll say something about one thing and then he over here saying something. You can't see Charleston White. 1 minute he's a philosopher, nigga, and real, and if the world will tell you, and look here, man, look. Niggas don't understand. He be on it, nigga. He be like, okay, nigga, I hear you, nigga. And the next minute, I shoot that nigga in his fucking face. Motherfucker, 10 toes down, nigga. We in the hood, too. I don't give a fuck, I'm 52, nigga. Type shit. I be like, damn, nigga, you kind of over there with it, and you over here. What is Charleston White? Let's just analyze that for a minute. He's someone that ended up getting some notoriety, which is always good today. The type of notoriety and visual success in the social media world that he's attained is really amazing, because I don't care what platform you're on. Maybe not TikTok. I don't see him a lot on there. He'll pop up every now and then. Somebody will do something and show a video of him, or I don't know what the outlet is. I'm on TikTok a lot now. I'm popping on that motherfucker right now. So I'm trying to get it to where I'm do my thing on there. But anyway, but other platforms like Instagram or Facebook or something, that nigga pops up quite often. So he's known. His Instagram, his following is popping. Big demographic too, which is scary because that means he's got a lot of ears. He's got niggas my age. He got 40-year-olds nigga listening. He got 30-year. He got teenagers listening because they love that shit. He's a big mixture of a different variety of people in a way of thinking. He's a deep old dude, and he's understood one fucking thing. He's gotten popular. When you get that, you got it all. You just gotta be who the fuck you gonna be. Sometimes that's gamesmanship. Sometimes that's being stern about a subject, nigga. I stand on that. You know what I'm saying? This shit is all a game. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. And sometimes when people get on these pods or they get popular, like said that gentleman, they'll get on something and it'd be a cool subject and some of the shit he's saying kind of makes sense. So that's what gives the motherfucker their credibility. And the next time you see him, they saying some shit, you be like, that limits their credibility, but they've already established that he has you now. You know, he has your attention. So you're going to keep looking. That's how that shit works. So what do I think of him? I think he like every other person that end up, you know, getting some fame. He running with it. Shit. I mean, I guess. And I hope he's doing the good he said he does. That would be amazing. Now, I don't give a fuck how much money you make then. If you're doing all the same things you say you're doing with the youth, and if you're doing that, nigga, you can be retarded all on that motherfucker if you want. Really save some people. That's all I give a shit about, to be honest with you.
Very true.
So.
All right. Now, what you think about Kanye West? Has he gone crazy or is he talking some sense?
I think Kanye West, his situation is twofold. One, he is a little mentally ill, a touch, but he's also crazy like a fox too. Sometimes when you are very, very smart intellectually and you surrounded yourself with people now that you've always thought of, and you know, one thing people have to take into regards where people come from. When you come from where he came from, just like most rappers, humble beginnings. And people like his mother and other people who are very special to him tell him to read books about certain motherfuckers. Same thing with Jay. When he tell, you know, Jay, Da Vinci, you know, what was that shit? Magna Carta. You know, these niggas read these books. They read the stuff and actually get into it like, damn. You know what I'm saying? What he's saying. So they understand their philosophies and read Nietzsche and all kind of things. So now he gets a hot song. He says, fuck that. I'm finna be around that hot crowd, the people that's supposed to be in the know about everything. That fucks with people, man, when you come from humble beginnings. It does. It does. Perfect example, Johnny Depp, if I'm not mistaken, was like from Venice, California somewhere. Just a regular white kid, good-looking kid. You know what I'm saying? Started getting in videos and, you know what I'm saying, and became famous. When he became a famous actor, he moves over to Europe. Next thing you know, he's talking like this, and you know. That shit changes you, bro. It changes you. Your whole philosophy changes when you get around a certain crowd, man. You got to walk and step differently. You see it. You be like, damn, I got to stop slouching. And you know what I'm saying? The whole shit. So that he's got a lot of that going on, but still kind of want to be tough and think he's smart. It's a battle going on up in there. It is, man. He just married that chick who designed the shoes. Recently, the chick who designed the Yeezys just got married. The funny thing about Kanye is, I think he's trying to find some type of a companion that's going to lock in all he believes and thinks and the whole thing. I think that girl, and I don't know how this is going to end, but since they were so close together and he knows her so well, I think he wants a companion that just knows him and fucks with everything he do, how he think, all that, and just be like, whatever, that's my dude.
Just worship.
I don't want to use that word. I don't want to use that word. You right there with it. But I don't want to use that word because if it was worship, he'd be a narcissist. Like he's I don't think Kanye West is a narcissist. I don't think he go out to hurt people. I really don't. I think he got a good heart deep down, and just now he's troubled, you know what I'm saying? And that's why he's lashing out and saying all these things. And what could be really weird is some of the stuff he's talking about is so on the mark that he's just getting he's catching the wrath of the people that be like, hey. You don't supposed to be saying that out loud, man. Shut up. You know what I'm saying? Type stuff. Don't do that or we'll sick the world on you. What the hell? Type shit. And he was telling them like, no, I'm going to say what I want to say like a little kid. You know what I'm saying? Instead of going with the program. You go with the program, them billions keep running in. So maybe he was running from that responsibility to go with the program.
Adidas said that even after Kanye, when he leaves, they're still gonna sell the sneakers just without his name on it.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Well, that's obviously was in the contract. You can't do that unless you agree to it. Let's just keep it a ban. He could sue and probably get, had him in litigation for a set amount of years. And next thing you know, in 2028, we hear that it got settled or, they get tired. I'm tired of fighting this fucking guy. How old is he now? They just finally just say, we've made, since then and now, 480 billion. Get this nigga 25 billion. Some shit like that. By then, it won't fucking matter. They'll just settle and the court costs will get paid and everything. Kanye West is crazy, but he's crazy like a fox. I think he knows what he's doing. He ain't gonna never be broke ever again. That catalog is too ridiculous. And they're gonna use that music. I don't give a shit how crazy he is. I don't care how many comments he make about Hitler. People gonna rock. You know what? Some people so weird in this world that we live in that we've been talking about that are against stuff or like when he said Hitler, that like Hitler, that low-key like Hitler in the world. They don't want to tell nobody. Probably went and got his music after he said that. That's how the world is. You'd be like, you know what? Fuck it. I like what Kanye did. Damn it, I like Hitler too. And go get the college dropout, download it for X amount from iTunes. You never know. So he's going to always make bread. And that's really what I meant by saying that. So people's opinions of you change. People that hated you, you'll say one thing that they agree with, now they love you. That's just how the world is now, especially today with the age of social media. And all I'm going to do is always be myself. That's the only thing. That's the only thing to save you, is to be who you are. 56 years old, smoke weed, the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be Dex. So, you know what I mean? Just recently, bro, if I may throw this in here, I was in last year in this horror film called Mama Bear. I was in like a featured extra role in a club scene, and then they just called me the other day, and I was there last night at 3:00 in the morning. Doing another scene in a biker bar. So, I'm getting a little work in this acting thing. Let's go. That's all I wanted to throw in there. So, hey, everybody out there, believe in your dream. I'm telling you, I don't care what it is, you can still make it. And remember this, Harrison Ford, Han Solo, was 36 years old before he made it. 36. Before he got, the big role in Star Wars. He had some bit parts, you know what I'm saying? He was in Apocalypse Now and shit. And, he had a few, went out to wherever they shot that. I think it was like Saigon for a couple weeks, made a couple dollars. This shit don't pay you great until you get in that big shit. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's a TV show or a movie. So don't give up if you're an actor. I'm telling you. That's what I was going to throw in there.
Nice. Now, what I wanted to ask you was, because you grew up in that golden era of hip-hop. You know what I mean?
Sure.
When hip-hop was hip-hop. Now, when I was coming up, right, I could say this. This is why when I look at the young people, I got my opinion. But then I'm like, damn, am I being the way people were when I was young? Because when I was young, people older were like, man, that hibbity mess, you need to throw on some Al Green and some this and that. You know what I mean? And I used to be like, man, fuck y'all old motherfucker, you don't understand. And now, when I listen to the hip hop, I be like, man, I don't want to hear that shit. I want to hear some Nas and some. Now, are we being that person, or is the hip hop that bad?
Nah. You got the fun. For me, this is weird. This is a good question. I don't know how you feel about it. I know you want to listen to Nas, which I do on occasion. I'll put that on. But I know exactly what that is. It's historical doctrine right there. That ain't today's music. That's history. You know what I'm saying? It's the best classical rap music. That's the format. These cats like KRS, they gave the format and the blueprint to be how to be an MC on the beat and really rock the crowd, the whole thing. The new age guys are more showmen than they are lyricists. Everybody know that. They're more showmen. And, you know, and I'm going to tell you something about the voice modularization. I love it because I knew it was going to get more space age. We're fucking in 2023, bro. We almost in 2025, you know what I'm saying? Before you know it, we really going to have people taking trips to this little space station out there. And so if there's a lot of misconceptions out there about if the world's flat. There's so much crap out there, man. A warped mind would take this stuff in and be sitting there going like, dude, where do we live? Are we in the Matrix? And you sitting at home really believing that, going to work every day, driving a truck, delivering people shit. So I think I really want people to stop doing that kind of stuff, putting all these conspiracies out here about Antarctica, and there's a whole... If they hide that much from us, man, this society will collapse. If any of that shit get leaked, any of it, nobody ain't gonna believe in nothing. So I don't want people to put that out there so people will be thinking that shit is possible. You know what I'm saying? But I also don't want people to be blind to shit either. You know what I'm saying? Always keep your mind and your eyes open. But until you find something definitive, stop putting all that weird ass speculation out there. It only makes the weaker minded motherfuckers be like, they be really at home, nigga, with I'm gonna build a bunker next week and all that weird shit. You know what I'm saying? So, what was the fucking question again?
The question we're all talking about the new school hip hop versus the...
I listen to hip hop today if that shit sound good to me. I don't have a 10 ear to all of these niggas, in other words. There's certain young guys, and you know who, shout out to KG Hustle, my son, who's really into basketball now more than anything else, but he is a musical artist. But he turned me on to people. He's like, you ought to listen to dude. And I'm like, all right. Like Jay Outlaw, I mentioned him earlier. That's the kind of hip hop I like. I know it's hood. And another thing, you know me. I've worked with you before. You know I'm more of a East Coast lover of that's come on, man. Come on. Eric B did it for me. When I heard him, there was no other style of hip hop that could. I know we had rappers at that time, but they wasn't even fucking with that. He changed lyricism. He changed the way how you get inside of the 16, how you spit. But he fucked me up. Okay, it's crazy to hear the Sugar Hill Gang, the first one they did, Rapper's Delight with the Good Times beat. Now, when that came out in California. And that's another thing about California. We didn't grow up with an FM station out here for years. Dude, FM, there was no black radio station on FM. The closest station that played any music that was reminiscent to a black song was on 102.7 Kiss FM, Rick Dees. He would play. Black people listen to him. That's why he became so popular, because he was risky. He would play more. It was real weird, man. It was weird. 2 stations on FM. It was KGFJ and 1580 KDAY. K-Day.
You know what? Now that we're on that, I think you're the guy I can ask too. Was it racism here back in the...
God damn, nigga, you for real?
Because the textbooks is all about what happened in the South and and I know in our textbooks they never talked about racism in California. We saw Rodney King thing, but we didn't know how deep it was till we saw Rodney King. How was that coming up?
Listen, man. We going all the way back now.
Because the perception, let me say this now, but the perception from the East Coaster is the freedom is on the West. That's why we all get the
Y'all niggas that came here. One thing I'll give y'all, I'll give New York guys, adventurous motherfuckers. Adventurous, willing to branch out in areas they don't know. They'll be very much who they are too. That's what I love about the real New York niggas, not thugs all the time. And it's a swagger, it's a type of look. Niggas from the West Coast probably think I jock y'all or something. Nah, not even like that. Philly niggas is dope too. You know what I'm saying? It's just y'all. It's cool in ways. You dig? Like West Coast niggas is dope in they ways. You feel me? Y'all niggas would go to fucking Omaha somewhere and set up some shit just like in the movie Belly. And that's the reason why the movie resonated with people so much, because that's how fucking New York niggas would have been if they would have went there. They would have been like when DMX ran the light. You felt that. You'd be like, yeah, real New York. Man, fuck them niggas, man. He would have really did that, a real nigga. You know what I'm saying? From the hood. So people got to understand when motherfuckers, that's how Jay-Z's a great rapper. Let's just get it. But people love that charisma more than anything else. That's why they gravitate toward him. You know what I'm saying? If niggas exude that shit, Jim Jones, a nigga that murdered over 600 people, charisma like a motherfucker. Sorry. Oh, weird looking. To me, I'm looking at him, nigga, I would have never followed that weird look. But nope, nigga, he had them niggas in the church mesmerized. That's why they followed him down the fucking jungle. Drank Kool-Aid, died right there. So don't discount charisma. So I'll be telling chicks, that fine-ass female, you see that guy, he just exudes that style. And you're like, damn, I want to fuck with him. Not all the time. Sometimes the most deadly killer niggas be exuding the best charisma in the room, nigga. You better leave that nigga alone and watch him for a while. He be the new nigga started at the job. That nigga used to beat his girl. You don't even know. But he got that charisma. You just can't help it. It's an animal thing. Calm down. Go home, take a cold shower, bitch. You fuck around and get stabbed, fuck with this nigga. Bitch, I told you to meet me at 6. You know what I'm saying? Chill out. Everything that glitter ain't gold, nigga. I'm telling you. That's some OG shit right there on the rail.
So in from the stories you've heard from the elders before you in the 50s, 60s, 70s, were they ever stories of them lynching and crosses and burning, and was they doing that to us out here too?
In California? Yeah. No, not that I know of. In Lancaster, when they first developed that area out there, it was predominantly white. Because, see, white people have always been running from us. You know that. Whenever we branched out, like, we would have this area, they'll be like, keep the niggas over there. And try to take the resources from there. Nah, if you do that, we're moving. You know how blacks are. We got to move on up like the Jeffersons. That's what that show is really about. It's a metaphor for George said, fuck that shit, nigga. We was in Harlem. Nah, we going to the fucking Manhattan, nigga. We going to be right there. Look at that bitch. That's what blacks want, the American dream, just like everybody else. The only thing is that was the metaphor of the show. You know, the duality with Mr. Bentley, who's English, who kind of don't deal with that, you know, back in England and shit. It's goofy as hell and don't understand boundaries with blacks, you know, because Jefferson like, nigga, just walking in the house. You know what I'm saying? It was a great show for that. You know what I'm saying? Because George used to deal with Archie Bunker before he got that show. You know what I'm saying? Because his wife used to, what's her name, Wheezy, used to work for the Bunkers as they made at one time. So that's the tie-in with that show. So the thing about how we was living when I was a kid in the 70s, you could tell racism was there. I'm going to give you one quick story. This is a weird story, too, because I don't know how. 15? It had to be 12, 13, okay? We in San Fernando Park. The only times, a lot of times, my family would get together, like my auntie, Pepper, God rest her soul, my auntie Tweety and her husband Charles, they used to be like in the valley. So we would only see them like Christmas or some shit like that, or a holiday, 4th of July or some shit. Well, you know, we're going to go to a picnic out at the park. So I remember we went out there to the park and a softball game broke out. Even my mom played. I was like, wow, it was the most fun. This show you how the devil worked and to show you how racism is and show you how racist motherfuckers was back then. I was a pretty good athlete. You know what I'm saying? I ended up playing ball, Crenshaw High School, the whole shit. So I knew I could move, and I didn't even think I was going to do this during the game. So I'm in the outfield. My mama was on my team and the whole shit. White boy hit a line drive toward me. Bow! I mean, that shit was... And I jumped and caught that bitch. And they was like, and my auntie and everybody was like, good job, bro. You know, my middle name's Jerome. I was like, oh, you know, I felt good. I threw it to my uncle and shit. I was like, oh, pumped up. You know, that white boy remembered that shit. When we got up the bat, nigga, I went and I hit a line drive. Pow! Got on base. I was on first base. My mama was out, and I seen my mom's face. I was all proud, you know what I'm saying? I was making my mom, you know, like, well, boy out there getting to this shit. Do you know somebody hit the ball, and I was heading to second. That same cracker was at second base. He threw the ball dead in my face. Bow! Hit me dead in the eye. A little kid. My uncle wanted to beat that nigga's ass. He wanted to beat his ass. Because he was like, he did that shit intentionally on me. My mama, I heard, but I was down there on the ground, nigga. My eye, that softball ain't soft. That motherfucker is hard. You know what I'm saying? And he hit me dead in the eye with that motherfucker. And I remember laying there. I'm like, why the fuck he do that? Because you knew you could have threw the ball to the nigga without throwing it dead at me. And I, as a kid, I didn't think that's what the fuck happened until later. I'm like, this nigga really threw the ball in my face. What the fuck? But they want to fuck his ass up. And obviously the game was over after that. But that's the kind of shit I'm talking about. Some low-key shit. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, if you tried to move in West LA at that time, like in the 70s, moving over on that side of town, yeah, you'd have been doing pretty good. You know what I'm saying? Shit. To pay like $1,200 back then, when I was a kid, like 5th grade, when I was in the 5th or the 6th, gas was like, what, 99 cents a gallon or some shit?
Yeah, it
was fucking cheap as fuck back then. And that was high to motherfuckers.
Yeah.
They was like, nigga, that's fucking crazy. 99 cents? Because motherfuckers remember when the shit is always, nigga, when it was 53 cents back in 42 or some bullshit like that, you was thinking that was high. You know what I'm saying? The shit gonna always rise. That's a part of the whole DNA of the thing. Let me tell you something else too, speaking straight to the camera, whoever listening, God, please let them hear me. They slaving your ass up with these college loans. Now, for those who got these loans and you done went off and became something real dope, and you making that money to pay that back, love you. It's people out there struggling. It's all a scam. Ask yourself why they took vocational studies out of high school, you know, like auto mechanic and all of that stuff. You know why? Because they want you to be dumb and believe only way you're going to make it is to go to college. Ain't nothing wrong with college. It's for the right people in the right circumstance. Most people not going to go to college, but why not get you a certification to fix some shit? Especially if you're good with your hands. And you know I'm not good with them numbers and shit, man, but I can fix a plane. They take all that away. You know why? Because they want your ass to suffer. Don't get them loans. Don't get buried trying to do some shit or go to some Everson College and get you a nurse, all these nurses, vocational nurses and all that shit and all that. You ain't going to be able to live off that. You ain't going to be able to live off of it. You can get top pay. $25 an hour. Niggas are struggling out there, nigga. 25. That used to mean something to get 25. Nigga, you used to be like, nigga, I got 25 an hour now. Now you be like, nigga, I only got 25. They own us now. They talking about going to Mars. What you think they trying to go to Mars for? To explore what? To explore the possibility of Martian real estate. Nigga, they might be out of here in a minute on your ass. You down here worrying about 25. You better get something cracking. This world be passing niggas up. That's why I'm like, as long as you alive, you ain't taking that dirt nap, you got a chance to be that success you always knew you supposed to be. And I noticed some motherfuckers was sitting on the toilet, reading the magazine, put that bitch down and did just like this. Nigga, I'm supposed to be doing something dope. You can feel it. You can feel it. You can feel it. You know it. But get on it.
You know what? Those are some powerful words, Dex, man. And I want to tell the people I want to second what he's saying because I'm one of those people that jumped on it, and you got to stay consistent. And whatever it is, it's in your heart, like you said in the beginning too. If it's your talent, it'll come your way. Now, we're going to close out in a little while, but there's a few other things I want to touch on real quick to get your opinion. You know, I personally, I watch the news a lot. Okay, I watch it a lot. Not watch the news. Let me reframe it. I watch YouTube and I always get the alerts of a lot of different towns and cities. This happened in Houston. This happened over here. This happened over there. And what I've been seeing a lot, man, is there's a lot of kids dying from opioid. Is that, I mean, what is that about?
What is the demographic that you've been noticing? And I mean, I want age and race.
I'll say this. It's everybody, but it's happening in different ways. Like I'll say this. In the high schools and stuff, it's mainly whites, Mexicans and stuff like that. But in the hood, what's going on is niggas is dying from so-called coke or so-called this, and it's Fetty in this, like DMX, like Michael, like the other black dude from The Wire. They're thinking they're taking coke or just heroin, and it's fentanyl in it, and it's killing their ass too. You know, I got a few friends myself that recently passed from fentanyl, but they didn't know it was.
Yeah, but what's so crazy is this. Whoever's supplying this, whoever's doing this, no disrespect to cut you off or anything, it doesn't make any sense. It sounds like to me it's a mass murdering thing because why in the hell would you sell dope with fentanyl? You know, I don't care if they take it, they're gonna die. From what I understand, cops have been passing out because they'll find a guy with fentanyl in the car and it's exposed and you can't even be around it. You gotta have on certain kind of gear and gloves to fuck with that, if I'm not mistaken. Am I correct? So with that said, why would you even cut fentanyl with the dope unless you're trying to kill somebody? To me, that's what it sounds like. Let's bypass the dealer. Let's bypass the fentanyl. Let's bypass the drugs in general. What we need to get to the root of, and you said children and teens. Let's get to the root of what the hell they need to do that for. I think a lot of times, just like the war on drugs during the Reagan era, it's all propaganda and political bullshit and political grandstanding to make people think we're fighting this for you. We're out here. If you notice, most anything people advertise is always going to have some motherfucker with his arms like this and the cape flying. You know why? Because they want you to be like, they want you to be rah-rah. It's a pom-pom ass world we live in. But it's all bullshit. What is the root cause of these children turning to these drugs? What's going on in them fucking households to where kids are turning to drugs? To where they know, and half of them fucking know before they take it, it may be cut with fentanyl. Yet they still take the chance. No disrespect, and never want a kid to ever go to jail. I'd rather a child take a penitentiary chance on get some bread from a Brinks truck, and God forbid they think I want to raise criminals or have people do criminal empowering, things like that. God forbid, I'm not trying to promote that. Let me put that out there on whatever platform this will ever be shown on. But I will say this. I'd rather have a kid take a penitentiary chance on hitting a lick so he can open up a store, do his passion project, than to fucking take a chance to take a fucking drug one time that's cut with fentanyl and in your fucking life. At least if you go to prison for 10 years for a light robbery of 5,000 grabbing a bag. Something like that. You tried shit, you trying to get out of there. The world got people on them desperate ass way of life and thinking. Our children is out there hollering at us like, bro, I'd rather take some shit that, from what I understand, from what I got it from the guy, it's been cut with fentanyl, but I'm going to try it anyway to get high and get the fuck out of here. You know why they trying to run from something? What's happening? To quote a fucking rock band, Steven Tyler, what the fuck is the band?
Aerosmith.
He had a song that he did a few years ago that won awards, and it was the video was popping, called "Janie's Got a Gun."
I love that song.
Love it too. Run away. I ain't gonna sing it, motherfucker. I could really get into that song.
Right. We both
yeah, it's a really because we don't have 10 ears like that. We listen to everything. I love 80s, 90s, and 70s rock. Come on, it's there's nothing better. That's when people did music from their heart. I mean, they in the studio 12, 13 hours, nigga, getting that riff just so right, nigga, and then get the dude. I feel it. Everybody in that room, if you're in one of those bands, gotta be one. That's hard to do, to get 8 niggas to be one. And have one. You get the lead singers obviously takes us to where we need to go. Everybody knows that. But that lead guitarist, none of these cats can't do this shit without the other. That's why the bands of those eras, white and black, used to take us there. Earth, Wind, and Fire. When you hear that shit, it lights you up. If you're a real black person, that fucking music, I don't care if you go to Zimbabwe, you know, you put that shit on, and the Africans be like, that's that shit, motherfucker, shit. They're gonna like it too, because it's pure. And that's the same shit that a lot of those bands like Van Halen and Aerosmith. But anyway, Janie's Got a Gun. In that song, he talks about Janie going to get a gun to shoot her pedophile touching ass daddy. I bring that up to say, who in the fuck knows why these kids are doing drugs? We need to get to the root of what's going on with our children. We need to, and I don't know if I'm about to say something about my daughter, but I don't know. She may not. Well, you know what? It's a beautiful thing. If she told me, obviously she telling the world. So to me, my daughter, my youngest, and I didn't know how I was gonna feel about it. Came out non-binary. You know, she want to call herself Drew now instead of her, you know, giving name Maya as the girl. So she's non-binary. She's, you know, she's even been her mom. I had no idea. Has been taking her, you know, to therapy about it, and she's been opening up about how she feel inside. You dig? So when I was told, it threw me off, but I was still like, you know, that's my child, man. You gotta love him. I don't care what. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, seriously? So I call her by her given name she wants to be called. I'm gonna respect her wishes and how she feel in her heart, and I'm gonna rock with whatever she's trying to do. Super smart. Straight A's since day one, since kindergarten. Who goes from the honor roll to honor roll in high school all the way? I ain't never seen nothing like it. So obviously she's very smart, and also not, and I ain't gonna say complicated because that's bullshit. Actually, she's finding out who she truly is, you know, in herself. So it's an awakening at the same time. You know what I'm saying? She just had her birthday. And shout out to Drew out there. I love you. Shout out to my son, KG Hustle, Brandon Davis. Shout out to my daughter in London, England, studying, dude. What the hell? How you in your 30s and you in London in college? It's crazy, bro. I ain't had nothing to do with it. When I look in the mirror, I'll be like, I don't know what you did, but all them kids is pretty cool. They all right. They doing their thing. So I don't know if I had anything to do with it, but, you know, I couldn't be prouder about my kids. They pretty good people. And I think that's pretty much what everybody would want, you know?
Hey, man. You know what, Dex, brother? It's always a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you, bro.
We got a good hour in. And that's twice as long as what I normally do. Because I'm sitting there, I looked at the hour, I said, damn, I can go another hour with that.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
And I want to make sure that we get a part 2 and something, you know, we may continue to do.
I appreciate that, man.
But if you have, let people know where they can contact you.
Okay.
Your shout outs.
Yes.
And anything that you want to put out there.
Appreciate you. If you want to check my podcast out, like I said, it is Corner Store Podcast. That is with a K, Corner Store Podcast. Amazing logo. Somebody like this guy right here will always tell you, if you're going to do anything, do that shit amazing. I'm doing it on a budget, but my shit is amazing. So look for the storefront. It's a very, very, very interesting front store that ain't nobody ever seen before. It's real colorful. Look for the Corner Store Podcast on YouTube. Matter of fact, tomorrow evening, between 5 and 6 p.m., the Corner Store Podcast will be live. You heard me. Tomorrow night and every Tuesday and Thursday. So please come check me out on YouTube Live. This is the guy right here, the Godfather, one of the dudes that got me to where I am today. Got to give him his props. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? And you can also check me out on YouTube at the Corner Store Podcast Instagram channel. And also Dex 300 all day on Instagram. I know I'm stumbling. I'm high as fuck right now. You know what I'm saying? I wish I could put the graphics up there myself. I love this dude right here. Maybe he'll, look out for me and do that. But thank y'all for letting me be here. The weed was good. Even though I brought it, normally he be looking out. I don't know what happened, y'all. He might be smooth and everything. I'm Joni Television, and thank you for coming. This nigga smokes mad weed, and it's beautiful weed, too. Trees. He got pine cones hanging around all over the place. I don't mean to put him out there like that, but some good shit. But this was my weed, and I'm a little faded right now, but thank you for letting me be here. Thank you, Tony, man. Shout out to my son, KG Hustle, to my daughter, Claudia, to Drew, to the homie, Mr. Slim, to the homie Will, who else? Oh, even though this is weird as hell, shout out to my landlord, because the place I live at is dope as hell. I got to give it to him. It's quiet. It's beautiful. Can think and do a lot of cool shit over there. Shout out to my man, Mr. Strauss. Appreciate you, dog. I had to throw you in there. It's kind of weird, but whatever.
Hey, man, I appreciate you, Dex. And
Thanks,
until
bro.
next time, Corner Store Podcast. Make sure y'all check it out.
Check it out.
I'm Tony.
One thing.
Stand on top like I'm King Kong. Paddle niggas like a ping pong. Run my block like I'm King Von.